Hello, everyone, and welcome to the House of Seven Beggars. It is Monday night. It is 8 p.m. here on the east side of the United States in the diaspora. This is the House of Seven Beggars. Therefore, this must be Zayde's Story Corner. That's right, Zayde's Story Corner. Okay, so where's my camera? I see it over there. Well, that is the old camera too. We have a new camera too. Oh, we have a new camera too? Yes, we have a new camera too. And this is so that we can actually have a much better broadcast. That won't be anywhere near as painful as the old one was. Yeah, last week was kind of a mishigash. Yeah, it was a bit of a mishigash last week. Because of the way we had the camera set up, and I had to keep. You had to be positioned so that you were on camera. It was getting a little tiring. Okay, so let's see who's in the chat room. Okay, let's see who is in the chat room. We have Yair John Richard, who is the composer of the lead-in music. Zayde goes to Wohop. That's right, Zayde goes to Wohop, and. A lot of our lead-in music is done by Richard, and you have a new album coming out. Actually, yes, we do. We have a new project coming out. We'll talk about that a little more. But finish the chat room. Yeah, we'll finish the chat room. So we have Zeph and Marshall and Shlomo and Shoshi and Colleen. So there we have everybody in the chat room. At least for now. Yeah, at least for now. So we'll see how many more come straggling in as the show goes on. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah, but the record, yeah, yes, we have a new album coming out. It is basically it's Richard's album. I came up with the idea. I pestered him for a long time until he finally gave up and decided to, I think more or less just to keep me quiet. Took on the project and did a fantastic job of it. The project is called the Shmoneh Esrei Project. It is music to give people, it's a meditation piece. It's basically, you don't play it while you're saying the Shmoneh Esrei, because we aren't supposed to. That's right, we aren't supposed to. So what it is so that when you're studying or meditating on the words of the prayer, outside of the actual saying the prayers during the 3 times a day, or 4 times on the Shabbat and holidays. Yeah, 4 times on Shabbat and holidays. But the 3 times a day to, other than that, when you're studying the prayers, which we should all do, we should all study the prayers. to get a better understanding of it. The idea was to put this meditation piece together so that people would get a better understanding of the emotion and the passion that goes along with it, because the Shemona Esrei is a very special prayer, and to understand it, to really understand it, the best way to do it was with music, and Richard has done an amazing job with it. And so that when is it going to be out for? In time for Hanukkah? Probably not in time for Hanukkah, but it will be out pretty soon. We're working very hard on it, and hope to have it out soon. So anyway, so we're about just a little over halfway. A little over halfway in the book that we are reading, which is called the Lost Legends of Israel by Dagobert D. Ruins, graciously donated by Colleen. Exactly, yes. Graciously donated by Colleen. And it's a wonderful book. I love this book of little stories and everything. I love reading them. Yes, that's true. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. This was one of the last books that we actually read when Zeyde had his show the last time. So we're picking up right where we left off. We're going to start over again with this book because it's just full of such great, wonderful stories that have some great, great, what would you say? Lessons. Oh, okay. Thank you. Lessons. You're welcome. Okay. Okay, so we are going to continue on with this. Well, I'm going to continue on. Okay, you're going to continue on with it. That's right. It is your show, so don't you forget it. Okay, I won't forget it. Okay, let's not go into that about the whole who's the star stuff again. Yeah, because we all know who the star is. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll go with that. So, uh, we are going to put you on camera 2. The old one or the new one? The new one. So we shouldn't actually call it camera 2. We might hurt camera two's feelings. Okay. Then we should probably call it camera 3. But isn't that going to get a little confusing because, well, you only have 2 cameras hooked up. Okay. So we're going to go to 1 to 3 and not use 2. Yeah, because we don't want to hurt camera two's feelings. Okay, okay. If you don't want to hurt camera two's feelings, because we've had camera 2 for a long time, we should give it a name. Give the cameras a name? Well, yes, she should have a name. She should have a name? Well, yeah. I mean, what would you call it? It's not a man. Well, what would you call it? I kind of like the one that they do in the Mystery Science Theater 3000. We'll call her Gypsy. Okay. Well, I thought Gypsy was another one. I thought the camera was actually called Cambot. Oh, that's right. It is called Cambot. So should we call camera 2 Cambot? No, I don't like that one. Oh, okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll give the cameras names so we can actually say camera 2 is this, and camera 1 is this, and camera 3 is that. Very good. Okay. Glad we got that. So, okay, so let's get you over on camera 3 for now. And oh, look at that. I like that. That's a much better picture. Yes, it is. It is a much better picture than the we used to have on camera 2, which is a different kind of camera. This one actually matches the other one. So yes, this is going to work very, very nice. Yeah, I think it will work very nice. Okay, so what are you going to start with this evening? Okay, this first story that we are going to start with this evening is called A Visit with a Dead Friend. It's a very interesting title. And it's about a very, very wonderful man. Okay, so I guess we should probably get on with the story. In the early part of the 18th century, there lived at the foot of the Carpathian Mountains a strange and most unusual rabbi. His name was Yisrael ben Eliezer. Now, we know who this is, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay. He wandered through the little towns of Poland, preaching a new message, a message of direct worship of the Lord, the message of cheer and kindness, and the gospel of shiflut, or humility. Through all the towns of Eastern Europe, the fame of the great Zadik, that means righteous one, spread, and many were the tales of his miraculous deeds. In fact, the people referred to him never by his given name, which was Yisrael ben Eliezer, but they called him the Baal Shem Tov, master of the good name. There was no doubt in their minds that the Zadik went every Friday on a flight to the heavens to consult with the Lord about the weighty problems of the little people in that part of the world. It's called the Rabbi's Wagon. Yes, that's true. It is called the Rabbi's Wagon. Yeah. Many stories about the Rabbi's Wagon. Yes, there are. Many, many. Okay, on Friday night, after the blessing and the dinner, the Chassidim, or followers of the rabbi, were sitting about a sumptuous table, drinking their wine and chanting their Shabbos songs, celebrating the arrival of the holy day. Baal Shem sat melancholy in his deep chair. One of his followers leaned over and asked, "Master, it is not like you to be so downcast. Tell us, have the heavens made you sad? What did you encounter there? Tell us." The rabbi stroked his beard, pondered, and said, "I am grieved. It is because the world is full of foolish people who hold on to tinsel and throw away the most precious things. This afternoon, while I was resting in my study, the spirits, blessed be they, took me far into the heavens to visit my young cousin, who died in Vienna many years ago. He died a rich man, with many honors and accomplishments." The Chassidim burst forth with eager questions. "Tell us, Master, what did he look like? Did he recognize you? How did he feel? Or does he feel nothing?" The Baal Shem heaved a deep sigh and continued, "I found my cousin Sholem in the midst of a handsome crowd. His beard was still brown, and his face shone like the setting sun. He sat on a throne and was surrounded by 1,000 little things, each one glistening like a pearl. From afar came music and voices, such as only the heavens can send forth. And there were visitors with him, just 2 or 3, sitting on the ground. What are all these jewels? I asked in amazement after we had shaken hands and embraced each other. Look closer, my cousin, said Sholem. You should remember many of these precious things. I went nearer, for my eyes are not as sharp as they used to be. None of us are. Yeah, I know that. Then I saw they weren't jewels at all. They were only cast off objects. I saw a little bell that my cousin had once found in the yard when, as boys, we played at our grandfather's home. I saw an old watch without hands, which our uncle had given us to take apart. There was a cracked set of tefillin I remembered having seen somewhere in the attic, and there was a simple pin his mother used to fasten her shawl. Behold, what I thought to be thrown upon, which Sholem sat, was only the old kitchen stool he used to sit on to watch his mother at her baking. Such and no better were all the many things surrounding him in his heavenly abode. The thing that looked to me like sublime jewelry, and then I could make out these sweet voices from afar. They were only sad chance we had. I think the page is stuck. I'll get it. Don't worry. I'll get it. Yeah, the sad chants we learned in our tiny shul, hummed by the frail little cantor. And the friends around my cousin were Chaim the tailor, who gave him a home while he studied in Vienna, and Moshe, the youthful comrade whom Sholem had neglected when he became a rich man. A true friend always forgives and forgets, at least in heaven. But nowhere did I see a sign of all the important people, the expensive luxuries that had surrounded my cousin when he was such a big man that one couldn't get near him unless one were of the same dimensions or bigger. In other words, just as rich and important. Yeah, I kind of got that. Okay. And as you know, in our town, there are only little people. I tell you, not one of the magnates, not one of the elegant personages who used to surround my cousin did I see up there above in the clouds. And none of the precious objects of gold, none of the papers with the important signatures did I see there. Not even the letter from the Kaiser himself when he made Sholem one of his counselors of his court. The only letter I found was one his father had written a day before he died, right in this city, 1,000 miles from Vienna. It was in poor script because my uncle was not a learned man. It said little more than over and over again, Baruch Habibi, Baruch Habibi, blessed be thou, O my beloved. Before I came down from the clouds, because the holy evening was drawing nearer and nearer, I again braced my cousin and asked him, "Give me words, my friend, before I part." And he said to me with tears in his eyes, "If a sinner may teach a sage, the world hangs on to tinsel and make believe, while the most precious things are those that people throw away." What a wonderful story that is. Yeah, that is. That is a very lovely story. Yeah. It's got the Baal Shem Tov in it. Yes, it does. It has the Baal Shem Tov in it. Yeah. He's one of our favorites. Yes, one of our favorites. Okay, so we're probably going to move on now. Okay, I got to remember where camera 3 is now. Yeah, okay. So camera 3 is over here. It's not over there where camera 2 is sitting. It's not up there where camera 1 is. It's right here. I got to remember to look at it. Okay. So what are we going to read next? Okay, this story is called 3 Lives. Okay, so one of his pupils once came to Rabbi Akiva and said, "Tell me, my master, why did you pray thrice? Isn't once enough? Isn't one prayer said rightly of full value?" The great sage replied, "Man lives not one life, but 3. There are 3 stages of life through which we all must wander. One is the life of dreams, when tomorrow is real and today is but a step toward it. Such life is abundant. There is no weight to the dreams, and we rise with them like a flight of birds to the top of a rainbow. Such is our first life. Our second life is led with our eyes to the ground. There we see the green of the fields and the blue of the water, and far away even a bit of gray sky. And we write our story into the green, into the blue, and into the gray. Is it good or is it bad? Is it beautiful or is it drab? Perhaps it is all of these. Perhaps it is none. Such is our second life. Then there is a third. The third life is not lived on the ground, and still it is not in the beyond. It is not a dream, yet it glows like a rainbow. It is in our hearts, and yet it is in a book. The book. You know that you are one with all you perceive, that your people of the past and your people of tomorrow are woven into one cloth. Such is the third life, my son, the life of awareness. And so I pray for the life of my youth, for the life of my fighting years, and for the life in the service of my Lord. So also, my son, do we die thrice? When our dreams have died, we still live, but our desires have died. We still live. What is left then is our love. The heart of love will live forever, long after dream and desire have passed away. If our love dies, then we have never truly lived. And that is the end of the story. It's a short story, but it's a good one. This next story is called Shiva. And we know what it is, a Shiva, right? Okay, so here we go again. It's a once upon a time story, right? It's never now. It's never a week ago. It's never last month. It's always once upon a time, or it is a long, long time ago, or something like that. Okay, so this one is a once upon a time one. Okay, so the story Shiva. Once upon a time. See, I told you it was going to be. Once upon a time, when Saul the king was hard pressed in stemming the soldiers of Edom, there served in his army of Israel a man named Yeshu and his son Habam. Many were the battles they fought together, and great was the anguish and privation they shared. Yeshu, because he loved his people, and Habam, because he loved his father. It came to pass on the night of battle that the company of Yeshua was ambushed in the brushlands, and while Yeshua remained unscathed, his son Habam was mortally wounded. Now, soldiers in battle pay short heed to death. He is our constant companion, and when his gruesome features appear, they are rarely given a second glance. But Yeshua kneeled grieving at the body of his son night after night, long after his comrades had gone. He neither wept nor wailed, although he had loved his son with all the love in him, and there was none to share his grief, for the enemy had taken all his kin and friends. It is said that the ears of the angels are deaf to the beat and clatter of the human voice. But if a man has lost his voice in profound grief and devotion, the whisper that emanates from his soul is like a breath of wind before creation, and such a spirit can touch the ears of angels. It is told that such was the sorrow of Yeshua over his fallen son, that the birds in the thick forsook their flight, and even the snakes lay still in the sand. For 7 days and 7 nights, Yeshua kneeled over Habam. He neither ate nor drank, nor closed his weary eyes. On the 7th night, he rose, facing the stars, spoke to the Lord. Hear me, the blessed Creator. I have lived many years and sinned my share. I have striven and sickened. I have loved and won. I have seen and heard the good and the evil, and everyday conduct of man. I have stumbled, again and again. I am content, my Lord. Let me meet the end. But my son, who is young, and whose thoughts are green and tender, let him be, my Lord, let him be. Again, it is told that the angels heard this prayer and brought them before the Eternal One. And as angels spoke of Yeshua and his son, of the lonely man left like a swath of warfare, their whisper was like the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. Then Yeshua heard a call through the distant night. Take heart, Yeshua. A man is to live, and a man is to die. Such is the chain I have spun around mankind. But thou hast broken the chain with the keenness of thy devotion. I shall not take away thy life today. What is given is unalterable. But I shall cut thy years in half. Give half to thy son, that you both may live for time to come. This is how Yeshua related the events of the 7 days and 7 nights and how they came to a close. And on the last morning, Habam arose and fell into the arms of his father. Until our time, for 7 days, our people keep watch for their beloved dead, unwashed, untainted, waiting, perhaps, for a sign from above. And that is the end of the story. Okay, I think it's time to take a break. We got to get time to watch the dancing food, of course, because we know how much Shlomo likes the dancing food. Okay, so we take a break, and when we come back, we say some more stories, okay? So everybody stay tuned. We'll see you back here shortly.
The lobby, let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 5 minutes. The show starts in 4 minutes. The show starts in 3 minutes. The show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
So here we are again. Okay, so before we start the next story, I want to say a special thank you to everyone out there who has donated to the shul, who makes it possible for us to buy this kind of equipment like camera 3 and the stand that goes with camera 3 and the other things that we need so that we can continue bringing these stories and these shows to you. So thank you very much for your donations. So, and if you want to make a donation, please feel free to. You can go to our website, sevenbeggars.com, or you can just, if you look up at the top of the screen on the YouTube, there's a little button there that you can make a donation to. So, thank you very much. Now, let's get back to our stories. Okay, this next story is once you get done playing around there. I'm working on it. Okay, this one is called the Lover of the Law. Okay, so in our, well, it says mythology, but that's actually an incorrect word for it. We call it Agidah. So in Agidah, you will find many versions of how Sodom, the city of sin, was destroyed. Many men, women, lives there who were, or lived there, who were, I need my glasses cleaned. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. Well, let's get done. Okay, so many men and women lived there who were of the cynical breed. And in the true meaning of this word, they lived like canines, like animals, for the moment, for themselves, for no good. But there were many others who did not know which way to turn. Should they run with the cynics, or should they walk the path of the righteousness? So, for 3 days and 3 nights, the Lord of mercy, who was called an angry God, put a wall of fire around the city. Now, this should have been seen as a warning, but the people took it as their doom. Why should we obey the law or respect the commandments, they said, if we are to perish? The Lord has forsaken us. Let us live for ourselves. So they plunged yet more wildly into their dog's life. Friend betrayed friend, brother destroyed brother, in the last rampage of violence and lechery. Lechery? Is that right? Anyway, so finally, the punishing flames began to stride across the walls, through the streets, under the roofs. No one was spared, neither man nor woman, none that is but Jonathan, the shepherd. When the city was consumed, a pile of rubble and ashes, it is said that the people who came to visit the shame that was Sodom saw the shepherd wandering about the ruins, bewildered and searching. And for the rest of his life, he was never called Jonathan, the holy man of Sodom, became his name. When people came from the four corners, hey, that's just like the comic strip. Yeah, well, let's forget about the comic strip and get on with the story. Okay. It's my show. I know it's your show. Okay. So when people came from the four corners of Israel to hear his words on the law of the land, which was the law of God, he said to them, I know more about the law than you do, no more than any of you do, but I live by it, not because I fear the law, but because I love the law. And that's a short story. But this story is even shorter. This story is called The Devil of the Tongue. It is told that there once lived a king in Mitzrayim who summoned his high priest and asked him to send him the best and the worst parts of the next sacrificed animal. The priest sent him the animal's tongue together with a papyrus reading, "The tongue is the best part, for it carries the soothing words of friendship and the whisper of love. It is also the worst part, for it bears the sting of hate and humiliation." It's a short story, but that's a very powerful message there. Okay, so we move on to our next story here. This is a little longer one. This one called The Third Try. Then the good Lord ordered abundance in creation. A trembling went through the earth, which suddenly became alive with creatures, plants, and water. And the Lord took it upon himself to look back upon what had just occurred. He was pleased with what he had done, but something was lacking. 1,000 living creatures strewn all over the globe, 1,000 trees rising to the skies, and 1,000 waters glistening in the sun. And yet, nothing could return his love. So God decided to create something in an image of himself, in his own likeness, and in his own spirit. That was the what is the gentlest creature? God decided it might be the dove. So he placed the dove on his finger and breathed into it his breath of divinity. The dove flew away in a happy circle, and the Lord smiled. Days went by, night after night descended on the earth, and there then appeared the dove, fluttering before the Lord. "Let me not be a dove if I am to be your very own," it asked. "My days are spent in haste, fleeing the hawk and the eagle and the vulture, and my nights are passed in fear of the sudden owl. Let me be an antelope, roaming the wide open plains, swift and untroubled." So the Lord blessed the divine spirit and drew it away from the dove. And before his grace there then stood an antelope, imbued with divine attributes. The antelope shook itself, and off it went, nay, flew into the forest. But no sooner had the day passed than the antelope returned, rueful and dejected. "My Lord," it said, "I made a bitter choice. The forest is full of my enemies, the wolf, the lion," well, maybe not this lion, but other lions, "and the tiger. Only the nights are mine. It is only half a life I lead. Pray, forgive me, but I would be something else. Make me so that I can pass my days without fear and without hunger." The Lord pondered, and with his right hand had he grasped a rock and crushed it between his fingers. Then he said, "From this dust I shall make a creature that is stronger than any animal on earth. I shall make a creature that can take its food from all that grows in abundance. Thus man came about in the Lord's image, and in his present shape, neither fish, nor fowl, nor antelope, the Lord's most personal creation. It is said that when man stood before him upright, and without fur or scales on his skin, the Lord called in his 6 seraphim. They folded their wings and stared in astonishment. And the Lord spoke, Adam, you are my very own. You lived in fear of the vultures, that the vultures would drink your blood. Never do you drink the blood of any creature. You were in fear that the wolves would kill you. Never do you kill any other creature. You lived in dread of the night, lest your neighbors offend you. Do you love your neighbor? He is like you. There is abundant growth of nature, but your soul must be fed too. This earth has two foods: food for the soul, love and hate. If you feed your soul on hate, you will grow to like evil and envy, conquest and destruction. But if you feed your soul on love, you will come to like the life for which I have chosen you. I must return now to my 1,000 other worlds, of which this is but one. I shall not come back, perhaps, for 1,000 times 1,000 years. Remember, Adam, the choice is yours. As the Lord disappeared, Adam could hear the voice of the seraphim from far away. Kol Ama Adonai, thus spake the Lord. Adam stood there, alone, his head bowed. And it is the end of that story. Okay, let us see. I think we have time for maybe one more story. So we are going to read the next story. It is called Shofar. I love the shofar. Yes, I know you do. Yes. I can't wait for Rosh Hashanah to hear the shofar. The shofar gadol. Okay, so let us go on with the story of the shofar. Many are the legends that grew out of the flight of the Jews from Mitzrayim. Some tales survive among Israelites living in exile or isolation. Others remain with our main bodies of our people. In the north, among the Ashkenazim. In the west, among the Sephardim. And in the east, among the Babylonian Jews. One such legend is of the shofar, the ram's horn, that is blown every Rosh Hashanah, New Year, to call the people together in the house of prayer. In those crucial days in ancient Egypt, the great prince Moshe secretly named captains to call their flocks together when the time came to start the great return. But first, said Moshe, They had to agree upon a signal. His counselors were fearful of using Egyptian trumpets or cymbals since their brazen sound was often heard and might lead to confusion among the people. Moreover, loud instruments might warn their Egyptian oppressors. Finally, they hit upon a weird, unique sound of the ram's horn. Rarely, if ever, was such a horn used as a musical instrument. And for that very reason, the Hebrew prince chose it as the means for calling together the people of Israel. When the great morning came, the sound of the shofar was heard from one end of the Nile Valley to the other. The Israelites cast down their burdens, threw off their yoke, gathered together, and set out upon the desert trek that was to bring them back to the land of promise. To this very day, to commemorate this historic event during the holy days, our people are again called to sacred service by the sound of the ram's horn. And that is where we are going to stop for this evening. And it looks like we are going to finish the book next week. So, and the going to be a good week too, because he's kind of coming up. Okay, so let's go back onto the other camera. Camera 1. Okay, let's go and we'll put camera 1 on. And there we are. We are back on camera 1. Yeah, I like camera 3 now. Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you do like camera 3. It's a very nice camera. Yes, it works very well. Yeah. So we will probably maybe 2 nights. Yeah, okay, maybe 2 nights. But we're coming to the end of the book, which is a shame because the stories in here are just absolutely wonderful. I love these stories. I read them over and over again. Yeah, I don't blame you. I love listening to them over and over again. So don't forget. Oh, I see Charles has joined us. Good to see you, Charles. Okay, so don't forget tomorrow night is the shul study hall. Yeah, the shul study hall. Yeah, and we are also coming to the end of that, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, which we have been studying for about 2 years. So we're coming to the close on that, and then on Wednesday night, Riverine. Yes, we have the Torah study with Rabbi A and Reb Reuven, and you got him a new headset. Yes, we actually did. We actually, and again, thanks to those who have donated to the shul, we were able to purchase Reb Reuven a new headset, a headset that will actually work with his computer. Which we have gone and we have already tested and everything and make sure it was working correctly. So that should improve the sound quality of the Torah study. He has a noise canceling microphone. Yes, it does. It has a noise canceling microphone. So any of the background noises that we were getting before are going to be very limited. But he is very happy and very appreciative of everyone who donates to the shul to make it possible for him to join us in the broadcast. Since he can't be physically with us anymore, at least he is with us via Skype, and he has a headset that is going to make it much easier for him, and it's going to sound a lot better for us too. So, and don't forget, Shalom Ziegler. Okay, there's a new one. Yes, it's very good to have you with us. Okay, very, very good. We're very glad to have you with us. Hey, we're glad to have everybody with us. Yeah, the more the merrier. Yes, yes, the more the merrier. Okay, so don't forget. And then Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is Kabbalat and Mariv Shabbat service. And then on Shabbat morning at 10 a.m. is Shachrit and Musaf. And until then, I am sure that you want to say your piece. Yes, I do. Laila Tov, everyone.